If you're tuning in, you're questioning the narrative and yearn for clarity. Welcome. This podcast explores diverse topics, dedicated to unraveling truths with insights from special guests and experts.
Welcome back to Hoodwinked. This is your girl, Maya the Bee. Thanks so much for listening and hanging in with me so far this season. I know it's something different from me, but I'm having a lot of fun with these topics. These are things that are interesting to me, and I know it seems like they're interesting to y'all too. So thank you for tuning in. On this episode of You Have Been Hoodwinked, it's going to be really dedicated to uncovering the story of Diddy. As of recently, the public has been watching closely as the Cassie story unfolds. I actually decided to do this topic a couple of months ago when I was planning the show out because I've heard all kinds of things about Puff over the years when I was working in the entertainment industry for over a decade. Kind of off the wall shit. I'm not going to get into that now. But I definitely heard things and, now this is all really making sense. So I'm sure this is just the beginning of what's to come. I did not expect to see the violence live. So a few days ago or last week, a video surfaced online of Puffy beating the crap out of Cassie as she's fleeing his hotel room. You can see that she's not dressed properly. She has random things she's trying to carry, and he comes and he just snatches her, starts hitting her, drags her back into the room. And this was they were saying at 11 o'clock in the morning at a very nice hotel, and you would just think with somebody like Diddy staying there, security would just be way more on call and just watching out for anything funky happening. But nobody, it's sad. It sounds like nobody came to her aid. And that video, I think they're saying, was in 2016. So we're going to talk about, a little bit of Diddy's background just in the entertainment industry. And then I'm going to get into some of the legal issues that he's faced over the years. And what's really interesting is since November 2023, Puffy has been hit with 5 different lawsuits accusing him of sexual assault, sexual trafficking, and engaging in other criminal activity. As we also saw before this horrific video came out with, Diddy assaulting Cassie, we saw his Miami and LA homes being raided. Nobody has been arrested in that yet. And Puffy is still, at that time he denied all the allegations, calling them sickening. But there's also been an apology video in this last week. So Diddy, after that video came out, where, it's undeniable, he has now made an apology. Even the mayor of New York, who gave him a key to New York, I guess last year, wants to renege his key. It's you don't get the key anymore. So there's been I guess a lot of backtracking for sure, because now he's apologizing and saying how his behavior was inexcusable, but at the same time making excuses. People were upset with this apology video because he did not mention Cassie's name. However, there are some articles online saying that Puffy is barred from saying Cassie's name as part of the settlement that happened in November. So that could be the reason. Again, we're not making excuses, but we're just, I want to shed some light on all the different perspectives that could be happening here. So anyhow, The video kind of fell flat, but it also contradicts, him always like denying all of this stuff over the years. So even the celebrities like Scrappy, who showed, support to this guy in the beginning, is now, he just did a whole video about how he would put the pause on him or whatever he said, because he doesn't believe in domestic violence. So we'll see who else retracts their support. Diddy's son, Christian, or as he calls himself, King Combs, he released a diss record to anyone coming for him, for his dad. He even threw shade at 50, who's been having a little too much fun with this whole situation. However, 50 is not the one you want to have beef with. Those who don't know the story of how 50 and Diddy kind of met and had their first exchange, let me recap, because this is one of my favorite stories. But please go Google it, because you will not be disappointed the way that 50, how he describes this interaction. It's so funny, and I wish I was there to see this, because the reaction that Diddy probably had was just like, he was probably stunned. Evidently, 50 and Diddy meet, and Diddy asks 50, when are we going to kick it? And 50 was like, what? Diddy was like, yeah, let's kick it. I'll take you shopping. So 50, being the man that he was, or is rather, he was definitely thrown off by that. All right, back to Diddy. So I'm going to start by covering his history in the entertainment industry, and then we'll continue on with the legal issues. We'll also just mention some indicators of toxic behavior over the years that might have been missed. So Diddy, Sean Combs, now he's Brother Love, which is completely ironic. He's a rapper. He's a music mogul. He was born in Harlem, as all of us know, November 4th, 1969. So he's a grown man. Diddy's father was actually murdered when he was only 2 years old, and then he was raised in Mount Vernon, New York. Diddy actually attended Howard for a little bit, but then he left to pursue his music career, and then returned in 2014. He got a honorary doctorate from Howard. Love how celebrities can just get honorary doctorates. Then he had his kind of music industry breakthrough. He started at Uptown Records, which I'm sure a lot of y'all out there remember Uptown Records. He was an intern there, and then rose through the ranks and became a talent director of sorts. He helped develop artists like Mary J. Blige and Jodeci, so I'm sure they have stories. And then Bad Boy Records came along in 1993, which was really a powerhouse in the music industry. That is a fact. If you like Diddy or you don't like him, that time was really instrumental for rap and hip hop. So set the stage for a lot of things to come. So we all know, early success was B.I.G.'s Ready to Die album. That became a massive hit. But then when Biggie died, that's when Puffy really came out of, from behind the curtain and became a star with the song that I absolutely hate, I'll Be Missing You. Even at that time, I felt like it was such a kind of scam, and not really, the message to me was not so much about Biggie. It was like, I have a hit. I could not believe how much they played that song. It was so annoying. But anyway, that was his tribute to his boy. That song topped the charts, and it was off of his friend's murder. So that he may have something to do with. Who knows? That'll be another show. Over the years too, Diddy has changed his name so many times. He started as Puff Daddy, then went to P Diddy, then Just Diddy, and now finally Love. And sometimes, that can be a indicator of being a narcissist, because a lot of times narcissists, they feel very important, too important. And they feel like, they have to have more than, one name or persona or whatever the case is. Or just for attention, because we all know he loves attention. Control, and image management. He loves having control, as you can see, especially on how he's perceived. This is driving him nuts that he cannot control this narrative. So I'm sure he's just spiraling over there trying to figure out how to get back the reins. There's a lot of reasons people change their names, and just after reading all of this in regards to like narcissism, a lot of it has to do with like escaping past failures. And when you change your name and stuff, maybe you feel like you're okay, I'm closing that chapter. It's gonna be a clean slate. So anyway, those are some red flags that I kind of saw with the whole changing of the name thing. Is like, are you just kind of thinking you're shedding what you did in the past, and now you're, this new guy and transformed and whatever. So anyway, he also, we know him for I can't even say it, Sean John. In 1998, he launched his clothing line, became really successful. A lot of people were wearing Sean John clothes for a while, those tracksuits. He also launched Revolt TV, which is like a music-oriented cable network. I think, Drink Champs is on there. So that just really expanded his influence in the entertainment industry. Of course, he has Ciroc. We all remember Ciroc. I think since this whole thing with Cassie, Ciroc has parted ways, which is really sad because it's such an end of an era. If you were in New York, it was like there was the Ciroc boys, Ciroc parties, and it was just such a vibe. And now for this whole thing to be coming down because it was all lies is really sad to see. But I'm glad that Ciroc is doing the right thing. And parted ways with Diddy, but we did see 50 say that he would like to do something with Ciroc now, which is hilarious. I just love 50. And then not only did he do all these things, but he also has like continued influence and legacy. He's been a producer and a mentor throughout his career. He says that he's been instrumental in the careers of several artists, including a young Usher, a young Justin Bieber, Lil' Kim, Faith Evans. He also has been doing things to, make sure he looks good in society, in the social eye. He has organizations that not only he has one, Daddy's House, which is like for social programs, but he also does a lot of charity and charitable givings. And overall, in terms of the cultural impact, he has always been the shiny suit guy, the lavish lifestyle, just over the top, just pushing the limits. And that did pave the way for other artists in this whole, the whole kind of showing off culture that we have these days. He definitely influenced that. All right. So, and he actually, I think he just had an album recently, as well. I didn't listen to that, but, anyhow, now let's get into the legal issues. So this all, I'm sure he had some other things before this, but this is what we know about. All right, let's talk about the legal issues now. So over the years, we've seen a lot of different run-ins that Diddy has had with the law. So in 1999, this was when things pretty much got set off, is the Club New York shooting, December 27th. This shooting occurred in Manhattan. It resulted in 3 people being injured. Diddy was charged with weapons violations and bribery, allegedly offering his driver $50,000 to claim ownership of a gun found at the scene. But what we do know is Shine took the fall for this, and Shine went to jail for this for 10 years. J-Lo had been, I guess, cleared of any implications, but I remember they pretty much broke up after this. And now the woman that got shot in the face is actually saying, you know, she feels like comfortable coming out, seeing everyone else coming out, and she said that Diddy is the one that shot her in the face, and it was not Shine. So yeah. Then 1995, there was at the Vibe Magazine Awards, there was a fight there with Diddy and his entourage and Suge Knight. Nothing really happened after this, but this definitely heightened the tensions of the East Coast, West Coast rivalry. In 2005, there was an assault charge. This incident involved an altercation with Steven Acevedo at a Manhattan nightclub. He was charged with assault, but Diddy was not prosecuted as the charges were eventually dropped. Then in 2007, Diddy was accused of assaulting a man at the Kettle of Fish nightclub in New York City. The alleged victim claimed Diddy punched him during an argument. Combs denied the allegations and no charges were filed. Then 2015, UCLA, Diddy was arrested. This was after an altercation with the football coach who allegedly yelled at Combs' son during practice. The charges that he faced included assault with a deadly weapon, battery, and making terrorist threats, as he was accused of swinging a kettlebell. I guess that's a terrorist move? I don't know. All right, the civil lawsuits. This is where it's going to get very interesting. So first, over the years, he has faced numerous civil lawsuits, including those related to copyright infringement, personal injury, contractual disputes. 1999, Combs settled a $10 million lawsuit filed by a woman who claimed she was injured in a stampede at one of his concerts. You can look that up. There's video footage of that. Then in 2011, Combs faced a lawsuit from a former employee who alleged wrongful termination and sexual harassment. The case was settled out of court, just like Cassie's. All right, so let's talk about the 5 civil suits. This all started back in November 2023. Many of these victims say that they were teens too, which is really, you know, even Cassie, 19 years old, you're still a baby at that point, and he was 37. It's like, come on. And let me just share a quote that he shared before this video came out, and all these facts are kind of rolling out now. He said, "Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth." Okay. So Rodney Jones, a music producer. So this is number 1 out of the 5. He is known as Lil Rod. He filed a lawsuit in New York federal court saying that Diddy sexually assaulted him and forced him to have sex with prostitutes. A similar story to what Cassie was saying, so it definitely tracks. In his suit, Jones alleged He lived and traveled with Diddy from September 2022 to November 2023, during which time he recorded hours of video and audio of Combs, his staff, and others engaging in serious illegal activity. What do you think serious illegal activity is? I'm wondering if this video is going to be released to us, or if this is something that has already been seen by the lawyers in this case, but we shall see if anything happens with Little Rod. So Puffy doesn't discriminate. This can be men, this can be women, this can be kids. He doesn't discriminate. And that's, to me, what happens with people when they get into power. Sometimes they feel like they're bored of like the normal ways, and they're like, I'm entitled to do some crazy shit. All right, so this isn't a civil case, but Natanya Rubin, she was the one, I hope I'm saying her name right, but she was the one who was shot in the nightclub in 1999, and said that Little Rod's lawsuit inspired her to come forward and share the truth about really what happened that night. And again, Shine did not, who was convicted of this, was not the shooter. Then there's a Jane Doe sues Diddy, saying that he and others gang raped and trafficked her. So December 6, 2023, another woman filed a federal lawsuit under Jane Doe against Combs and Bad Boy Records executive Harve Pierre and a third assailant when she was 17, after trafficking her across state lines in 2003. Now, Harve Pierre, known as Harve, he's always been a slimy character. He looks slimy. He was after my young sister, who was a teenager, and she was signed to Universal. He was very disgusting. He gave me creepy vibes, and I'm saying that with full confidence that he's probably engaged in something, because he just has a very slimy persona to him. Do I know for 100% if he's engaged in rape? No, but I can tell you just from my own experience, the vibes that he's given me and the vibes that he's given other people that I know have been aligned, and it's been creepy vibes. Okay, and then we've got on November 24th, 2023, Liza Gardner filed a lawsuit against Diddy and R&B singer and songwriter Aaron Hall for battery, sexual assault, and negligent infliction of emotional distress. So Aaron Hall has also been accused by Gloria Velez for being an abusive partner. So I think this is very interesting that both of them were teaming up together to do these assaults. The next one, which should be number 4, I guess. Are we on 4 already? 4 is Joy Dickerson Neal. Okay, so this happened one day prior to Liza's lawsuit being filed on the 24th. So she filed on November 23rd, 2023. She's a former Syracuse University College student. And she says that the rapper drugged her, sexually assaulted her, and filmed the assault in 1991. I bet you Diddy has all kinds of shit on video. It's like probably some really sick shit. All right, finally, let's wrap this up. Oh, and just so you know, they settled out of court. So whenever somebody settles out of court, it shouldn't always mean they're guilty, but it definitely looks like they're guilty. So Cassie, they settled out of court pretty quickly too. Um, and Diddy's lawyer said, just so we're clear, a decision to settle a lawsuit, especially in 2023, is no way an admission of wrongdoing. Really? Is that why there's an apology video now in 2024? And there are several other people coming forward alleging similar abuse. Even Misa Hilton just posted the other day how her heart goes out to Cassie and we have to help Diddy and heal him and all this bullshit. She probably also knows. This was crazy because this came up recently because of everything that was surfacing about Diddy being abusive. His ex-girlfriend Virginia V, in a 2019 interview, accused him of stomping on her stomach, punching her, and trying to pay her to abort their child. And I don't think there is a child from that, so I wonder if that happened. She said, he stomped on my stomach really hard, like took the wind out of my breath. I couldn't breathe. He kept hitting me. I was pleading to him, can you just stop? I can't breathe. She added that everyone around Diddy allowed the abuse to occur. I wonder if Dana Tran, Diddy's most recent baby's mother, has a story to tell. Right now, it's like talks of not only heterosexual rape, but also homosexual rape. So it's really, we'll see if we hear more stories from the likes of Usher and Justin Bieber. For me, there was a big rumor when I was in the industry about Diddy and Busta Rhymes having a relationship. So don't get hoodwinked. Again, just last year, Diddy received a key to the city, New York City, from Mayor Adams. And now there's talks about rescinding that after seeing, Diddy assaulting Cassie. So we all believed, this guy is an influencer. He's so cool. We should, be giving him our attention, our money, our energy. And, people abuse their power at the end of the day. Not everyone. So the conclusion of this, because there's so much more to talk about, but I know I've been talking for so long. But the conclusion is it is never, ever okay to hit anyone, but especially men hitting women. Men are naturally stronger. Men are the protectors of our society and should uphold a moral code that treats everyone with respect and equality. It's time for men to start stepping it up and speaking out. This behavior is not okay and it's damaging. Women deserve to be protected and cherished. In this case, not only have people been physically violated, but they've been mentally abused. This type of damage is irreparable and leaves marks forever. For victims, it's never easy getting yourself out of a violent and mentally abusive relationship. I have been there. It took me 2 years to get out. So I know firsthand when people say, why didn't you just leave? It's not that easy. For me personally, this person acted more dangerously when I did try to leave. One time, they showed up at my job, assaulting people I worked with, threatening to hurt my family. It took me 2 years to soften him up and get him not to want me anymore. It took so much out of me. I was just drained from the whole experience. I had to suppress my spirit. I had to be submissive. I had to walk on eggshells until it was safe to come out again. So I know how hard this can be for women. Never mind mothers who not only have to protect themselves from these predators, but also their children. So again, I call on all men for protection. It's 2024. We need you to step up and stand up for what's right. And that's treating everyone with respect. Men, if you see something, say something. Some of your family and friends need mental help or even to be incarcerated or institutionalized. Stop hiding your heads in the sand, waiting for it to be over. Stand for something. This has been a heavy episode, and there's so much more to uncover here. And the story is unfolding, so I'm sure we'll be back on this topic again. But I will leave you with this for now. Make up your own minds when it comes to Diddy, but do yourself a favor and base your opinion on the facts. ChatGPT and Google are your friends. Educate yourself and then others. That's all for this show, peeps. I encourage you to interact with me on IG at It's Maya the Bee, and you have been hoodwinked for the show. I would love to hear your take on this topic, or if you have any insight into why you think Diddy took this journey in his life, or if you yourself need help, DM me. Your communication will always be 100% confidential, and I'd be glad to share any resources I found helpful during my time in the darkness. Until next time, stay safe and stay informed.
You have been hoodwinked.